Hi, everybody. Welcome to Spa Babies. Dan Illman here with Nicole Russo. We're going to kick off the week at Saratoga with our Wednesday Spa Baby race, the first leg of the 50-cent late pick 5. It's race number 6. We throw up the field of New York breds going 7/8 of a mile. The number 3 Mischief Joke, Nicole, has been knocking on the door. He's hit the board in all 4 starts, just missed last time out, and is a deserving 9-5 morning line favorite.
Absolutely a deserving favorite. I mean, we always talk about how experience counts, and this horse, we'll get into him a little bit more, has experience going all the way back to April and has been on the board in every start. But really kind of a fun field here of New York breds, and we're going 7 furlongs, which is sort of an in-between distance between those sprints and routes. It's time to start sorting out those horses who will really appreciate the added distance as we keep going.
Several experienced runners in this race. We do have a Timeform US pace projector. We kick it up and we see the number 1, Albedo. This is a horse that's getting blinkers for the first time and breaking from the inside post. If he does break sharply, maybe the blinkers will give him a little speed, a little focus, and maybe he'll be closer to the pace than last time.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a key to the race and the pace development is if he can get away from the gate well and what is a good sized field.
And the number 10, Easy Roll, is another horse that might show improved early speed with Johnny Velasquez taking them out. Let's start things off with Albedo, who made his career debut over a wet track, so we already had a ready-made excuse. He gave an even performance. He's getting blinkers for the first time. He's by a first-crop sire with some potential. I do wonder if this horse is going to find turf to his liking down the road.
Well, certainly I could see the Leah Fricks going either way, being by Candy Ride and having a turf in the female family as well for Albedo. Leo Frick is a very interesting stallion to me because he started his stud career up in New York, and while his first foals were just hitting the ground before they had even seen a sale ring or anything, he got sort of called up, so to speak, to the Kentucky marketplace. Somebody really believes in this horse, so I think his offspring are going to be very interesting to follow in the future. I think 7 furlongs is going to help Albedo show some improvement. That being said, I think these are going to want even more ground and even more age and experience to be at their best.
First-time starters up next, the number 2, Benzodini, going out for Steve Asmussen, Tyler Gaffalione. A nice combination of stamina over speed in this pedigree. He is by Bernardini. He is a half-brother to Electronic, who is a graded stakes place turf sprinter. This one breeds to quarter mile in April and 21-4. The Dam was a stakes winning turf sprinter. You're getting great connections, Steve Asmussen, Tyler Gaffalione.
Absolutely. And Steve Asmussen has sent out some nice debut 2-year-olds at this meet, including Risk It last Saturday. I like that this one has a nice long work tab coming into the debut as we talked about, this 7 furlong distance. And Bernardini over, as you mentioned, some speed in that female family. I like the combination of speed and stamina here. I think sometimes that's what you need at, again, kind of this middle of the road 7 furlong distance.
Let's take a look at the last race from the most experienced horse in our Spa Baby event, the 3 Mischief Joke. This was at Saratoga earlier in the meet, going 3/4 of a mile. Down on the inside, he's going to try to squeeze his way through. I thought he had every chance to win this race. He is going to get beat ahead, but he ran very well, a 65 Beyer speed figure. He's rock solid. You know what you're going to get from him, and it's going to be a good performance.
You're going to get a good performance. He's got 3 seconds, and 1/3 from his 4 lifetime starts, as we said, dating back to April. Plenty of experience, plenty of foundation, just missed by a head last time. And Mike Maker looking for kind of that secret sauce to put him over the edge. Maybe the little bit of distance will help. Certainly his sire, Practical Joke, loved going 7 furlongs, loved going a mile. Maybe getting leading rider Irad Ortiz Jr. will help.
Michael Maker is the trainer of the 3, Mischief Joke, the horse to beat. The number 4, Officer Derek, is a first-time starter by Motown, sold for $67,000 as a yearling. The Dam was just a racehorse. She won 7 times, over $175,000 in earnings, some class in the female family. Sometimes Tommy Albertrani likes to give his horses a race or two before they hit their best stride.
He does. And looking at this one and seeing that this one only got on the official work tab in early July, I think that might be kind of the plan with this horse. Kendrick Carmouche, a very good confidence boosting rider with these young horses, likely to give him a good experience as well.
The 5 Dixie Pharaoh made his debut in the same race as Albedo over that sloppy track, and he gave an even performance, only beaten 3 lengths. He can certainly move forward second time out for trainer Ray Handel. This is a son of American Pharaoh out of a half-sister to Klimt, who was a 2-year-old Grade 1 stakes winning sprinter, so there is some pedigree here.
Definitely pedigree for 2-year-old ability on both sides of the family. American Pharaoh, of course, a 2-year-old champion before he went on to sweep the Triple Crown and has done so well with his own 2-year-olds. You mentioned Klimt in the immediate family and the female family. This one ran, evenly, gave a good account of himself on debut. Ray Handel, another trainer who often moves them up second time out. And I like that this one came out of the debut and posted some good works. I like seeing that from young and experienced horses. It shows that the light bulb is going on and they weren't put off by the experience.
Dylan Davis retains the mount on Dixie Pharaoh. The 6 is Skylers Starship, moving turf to dirt for trainer John Terranova. Jockey Javier Castellano didn't have a great trip in his debut on turf. He broke from the far outside post, didn't break very well, was hung out wide. He's getting blinkers, and as you see from our horse card, Skylers Starship does have some dirt on the bottom of his pedigree. He's by the turfy Mendelssohn.
Well, Mendelssohn is turfy, known for his biggest wins on turf, I think, but he's siring horses, especially young horses, who can win on both turf and dirt. And I think it's interesting that Javier Castellano, who retains the mount, aboard him in that debut, aboard again. I'm sure he gave feedback as to how this horse might move and what he might prefer. I'm sure he had feedback into the addition of the blinkers as well. So I think that's really interesting to see Castellano retaining the mount. And I would like to see if this horse does move up with the surface switch.
Perhaps extra distance will help the number 7, Blue 85, making his 3rd lifetime start for trainer Bill Mott. This is a $200,000 yearling by first crop sire Audible, the dam a full sister to Bear Now, who is a graded stakes winner going long on the dirt. This one hasn't broken very well in either of his 2 starts to date. He's run on in the stretch. He's a good-looking physical. He's a big, strong horse. I think the 7/8 will help. He's just got to mature a little bit emotionally. He's got to figure out the gate.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good way of putting it with this horse. And Audible expected to be a very good sire. He's a classic place son of Into Mischief. He was a horse that had speed that he could carry. But he began to emerge really in the spring of his 3-year-old year. And I expect to see these Audibles improving a little bit as we get into the late summer, early fall as well.
The number 8 is BD Saints, who has raced twice previously, both of those races on turf. He was green in both of those starts, pulling hard in the early stages. He had a very bad trip when the beaten favorite going 2 turns against New York Reds earlier in the meet. We see BD Saints trying to squeeze in between horses. He clips heels very badly. That pretty much ends the race for him, but he's still trying at the end to finish 4th. Now he's going to switch surfaces. He's going to cut back in distance. He's getting blinkers. It's his first start for Linda Rice. So a lot going on for BD Saints, who does have a little bit of dirt pedigree.
Absolutely. And being by Leban, that very good son of Uncle Mo, you would certainly think he would handle the surface switch. We talk about, the challenges of the 7 furlong distance. Certainly he'll have the foundation to deal with that, going a mile on turf at Ellis and then a mile and a 16th on turf at Saratoga. And I mean, you talked a little bit about his trip, and the running line says it all for him. It calls it a horrific journey. And really, if he can get a bit better trip, he's a player here.
First-time starter based at Finger Lakes is up next. That's the number 9, Holloway. Katie Davis aboard for trainer Jacqueline Falk. This one's by an underrated New York stallion. That's Giant Surprise, who wins 17% with juvenile debut runners. The dam won 3 times on the turf. This is a very late fold on June the 1st. I just wonder if maybe he'll need a race or 2. He's catching some more experienced horses, some horses that might be a bit more precocious.
I think that's a fair assessment. It's clear to me they've taken their time with this horse. Not only is he a June foal, but he got on the work tab late, just showing up on the work tab officially at the end of June at Finger Lakes with a little string of works there. Does have some sharp recent works, and Katie Davis really having a great summer at Saratoga, really moving up a lot of her mounts. So I would expect this one to maybe get a good learning experience and some good foundation from this race under her.
And completing the field is the number 10, Easy Roll, who is expected to improve off of his career debut. He finished sixth behind Mischief Joke, but that race just didn't have a very fast pace. Easy Roll was very wide. I think he gained a lot of experience from that start, and with a better break, he can get close to the pace. And as you see, there's plenty of sprint and two-year-old ability in this family, so maybe John Velasquez will help move Easy Roll up for trainer Tom Morley.
Sure, and I think a nice draw for this horse. He can sit outside of the other speed and work out a trip under Velasquez. You mentioned the two-year-old ability in the family, and that certainly comes from his freshman sire, Enticed, as well, a graded winning two-year-old by Medaglia d'Oro, whose sons are emerging as good two-year-old sires, Bolt d'Oro leading the freshman list last year and others.
Let's take a look at our top selections for our Wednesday Spa Baby race. Mischief Joke, the horse to beat, Nicole.
Mischief Joke's the horse to beat, and I had a hard time looking past him just with how consistent he's been. I think a couple of little tweaks here, getting a little bit more distance to that 7 furlongs that, again, was right in the wheelhouse of his very good sire, Practical Joke, getting Irad Ortiz aboard, who, as we all know, is an aggressive rider, maybe puts him over the edge a little bit. So I found Mischief Joke very hard to look past, but there are a couple in here eligible to improve off of their debuts who, you know, could be right in the mix. And I think Dixie Farrow is one of those. I thought he had a nice even run in his debut. Ray Handel, another trainer who often moves them up second time out. There's a lot of those in this race if you're looking for value, that type of barn. And, you know, again, I really like it when a horse comes out of their debut and works well as this one has. I would encourage you always to check out the Clocker reports produced by our colleague Mike Walsh and his team up at Saratoga.
I'm going to go with the 7, Blue 85 in here, just for a little bit of an upset over Mischief Joke. Should offer better value for trainer Bill Mott. It's his third lifetime start. I think the physical coupled with the pedigree makes me think he'll get the 7/8 of a mile. I just think he's a good fit in this particular spot. I'm expecting him to run on at the end. I just hope he shows a little bit more early speed. Mischief Joke, the horse to beat, however, in our Wednesday Spa Baby race, the first leg of the 50-cent late pick 5, race number 6 at Saratoga. Good luck.